Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Leo December 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as December goes, the Sun will be in Sagittarius from the 1st until the 21st. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of power, focus, attention on love, romance, personal popularity, speculation, gambling, hobbies, things that are fun, really amusement, and just really a lot of enjoyment, and children, and even superficial connections and interludes. And given this is Sagittarius energy, it could be very lucky and fortuitous for gambling and things of a speculative nature. And also done, these fifth house matters may be done with a lot of exuberance, enthusiasm, expansiveness, a lot of ebullience, jocularity, and joviality. But on the negative side, though, they may also be done perhaps with foolhardiness, recklessness, over-optimism, and over-enthusiasm, and also very in a tactless manner. This could be done with a lot of veracity and that Sagittarius-like veritable truth. So a lot of energy into just really about being about really just getting to the truth in fifth house matters. At this point, a lot of focus and attention connected with that. So anyway, the next thing up is the Sun will be in Capricorn as far as December goes from the 21st until the 31st. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Leo, this could be a strong concentration of power, focus, attention on health, work, employment, an aunt and uncle, the daily routine, hygiene. Also worry perhaps given that this is the 6th house is associated with Virgo in astrology. Now, given this is Capricorn energy, this could be done with a lot of Capricorn consistency, responsibility, intransigence, very orthodox and methodical manner, very conventional. In work-related matters, you're likely not to go outside the box too much or try to be too innovative in trying to solve issues. This could be done also with a lot of seriousness and very ambitious manner, and very disciplined, and being very professional as well. And given, I mean, this is the Sun and Capricorn energy, this could shine the light, so to speak, on a Capricorn health-related matter, such as something with the knees, the bones, the joints, the health, and perhaps, so not the health, the hamstrings. So anyway, and especially if this is making an inconjunct aspect to the ascendant in one's natal chart. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is the new moon there will be a new moon in Sagittarius on December 7th. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this could be a Sagittarius speculative matter. It could be something like with sports. Maybe you start to do something with some kind of sports, gambling perhaps at this time. In some cases, this could be a new Sagittarius child or romantic partner. It could be something, it could be an actual, I mean, with the child, if you're having, a child is born, of course, it's going to be a Sagittarius. But the thing is, if this is a romantic partner, it could be a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Sagittarius-like characteristics. Now, this could also be a time for perhaps initiating a new Sagittarius hobby or amusement. It could be something sports related, it could be archery, something with horses, It could be also camping, some kind of outdoor activity, and something connected with adventure or exploration, and even target practicing. Sagittarius energy is about hitting that target and really being trying to be right on the mark, so to speak, because Sagittarius is like that archer with the bow and arrow, so you understand what I'm saying. So anyway, this could also be a new period, perhaps, of increasing personal popularity with a lot of expansive and positive Sagittarius energy, and by being very jocular and jovial as well. So anyway, well, the next thing up is there will be a full moon in Cancer on December 22nd, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Leo. So at this time, well, one way this could manifest is that this could be an unveiling or revelation of a Cancerian hidden adversary or enemy. It could be a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Cancerian characteristics. This could be also maybe somebody that might be a home or family member, or someone that Leo may simply feel close to home with. Also, too, this could reflect perhaps the completion or culmination of something that was Cancerian related, that was done in solitude, in seclusion. It could have been, in some cases, could have been a big laundry project that maybe had to be done, that might have been procrastinated on for some time. It could have been something connected with cooking or something. Anything, could be a home renovation project. It could have been just simply adding a partition to the home, some kind of home renovation or improvement. It could have been something with siding or roofing, real estate, something that might have been something that could have been Cancerian related. Again, that could have been done in solitude and seclusion. So those are some things to look at. Now, also too, and something and it could have been something very nostalgic, such as even doing something with a family photo album, trying to find lost photos or family members. But anyway, also too, another way this could manifest is that you may become somewhat tired, full, exasperated, and an overly emotional, clingy, vulnerable. It could be needy, somebody that might be overly temperamental, fickle, moody, and it may be an aunt or an uncle. It could maybe be a person that might be, in a situation that's less fortunate than most, and maybe that maybe it's at a point where the person has become too clingy, and it has been really just at a point where you just basically perhaps had enough, and it's like one of those things where you give a person an inch and they take a mile. And so anyway, and also too, and it could be too where maybe you've had enough of an overly clingy family member that might be driving you figuratively crazy. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Scorpio as far as December goes, from the 1st until the 12th. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could manifest perhaps in very deep, incisive, probing, provocative conversations with a home or family member, someone you're simply close to home with. It could be over matters regarding your roots and ancestry, and you might find yourself thinking very deeply and profoundly regarding the latter part of life or the end of life. If you were not, especially if you are not in it, if you're in it, you may still be thinking about it at this time and what you're going to do in regards to it at that point in time. Now, another thing, as I've stated in previous videos, that Mercury can also be about siblings. So this could be about perhaps Scorpio siblings. They could be Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics that might factor in or figure in prominently in the home, the family life, your emotional security. It could even be traditions and foundations, even roots and ancestry. Figure, well, how can they figure in that? Well, they might be actually able to help you in those matters. And anyway, And as far as whether they're actually these Scorpio siblings, if this is occurring, do they factor in where it's beneficial to you or whether it's to your detriment? A lot of it, of course, can depend on the aspects that are made to other points in your natal chart. If it's a lot of adverse aspects that are made by this Mercury and Scorpio transit, then they might be more to your detriment. But if it's a lot of positive aspects, then it could be the other way, and they might be very beneficial. So anyway, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back now. Anyway, another way this could work out is this could be about, you might find yourself talking more about Scorpio traditions. It could be things connected with the occult, the supernatural, astrology, things connected with horror. It could be going to some kind of haunted houses or something that could be Scorpio related, and also about having perhaps more probing, incisive conversations connected with your roots, your traditions, your ancestry, and thinking deeply perhaps about who you may be at the core, but also too it's important to avoid, I would say, perhaps manipulative thinking at this time, and thinking of ways maybe, to maybe manipulate maybe some family members, or it could be where, there might be some vengeful thinking going on as far as this goes. If there has been a family member, someone you were close to home with that has done you wrong, just try to avoid those kind of those thoughts at this time, because Scorpio energy can be rather vengeful and manipulative when it's negatively expressed. So anyway, next thing up, well, as far as December goes, Mercury will be in Sagittarius from the 12th until the 31st. So at this time, the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you might find yourself having more very blunt, philosophical, very candid, voracious conversations with romantic partners. It could be with children. It also could be thinking big and really thinking very optimistically, perhaps about doing something connected with the gambling or something of a speculative nature. A lot of expansive and positive thinking, perhaps regarding this. But keep in mind, though, that Sagittarius energy is not always about, often not about the details and things. So just remember, if you're thinking about doing something that's of an investment nature, something very speculative, make sure you know all the pros and cons and the possibilities and in terms and the percentages of whether this is going to be auspicious for you, or it's going to pan out where it's going to be more profitable for you or not. So it could be thinking about sports gambling at this time as well. And as I've stated before in previous videos, I just stated a little bit ago that Mercury can also be about siblings. So in some cases, this can manifest as Sagittarius siblings. It could be Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius characteristics. Might figure prominently in your fun, amusement, enjoyment. It could be things of a creative nature as well. It could be maybe matters with your children, perhaps. And also, this could be about perhaps having just really at this time having conversations and thinking really with a lot of that, talking with a lot of that veritable truth with matters that are 5th house related, and really and again, they could be people, it could be romantic partners or children as well. It could be people that you share some kind of creative endeavor with, or you're involved in something with fun, amusement, enjoyment. Also, too, thinking very positively and optimistically about increasing popularity and maybe incorporating, humor into your conversations, and really these can be things that maybe could maybe augment personal popularity at this time for you. So anyway, next thing up. Mars will, well, actually, the next thing up, I'm sorry, Venus will be in Scorpio for the majority of the month, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Leo, well, this could manifest in really doing a lot of things that are enjoyable, that are Scorpio related, with the family, people you're close to home with. It could be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. It could be doing things like, could even be using a Ouija board, or doing something astrological, playing a mystery game such as Clue or Sherlock Holmes game, or like a Law and Order SVU board game or something like that. And also too, this could be about valuing peace at the end of life, and it could be done really and just also this could be, I mean, having, in doing things to attain and be in that position to have that peace at that end of that life period could be done with a lot of Scorpio-like intractable and energy and emotional intensity, and perhaps even resourcefulness. Now, also, too, this can manifest perhaps in money being spent to transform the home at this time. It could be, just making some major changes and modifications with it, and also about loving deeply who you are at the core. And also, this could be about Scorpio relationships figuring more prominently in your emotional security, getting in touch with your roots, your ancestry, and also about foundations as well. At this time, they could be Scorpio, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics, and maybe just connections that could be rather, that could be deep, and that it's certainly not superficial ones. So anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Pisces, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Leo, well, this could manifest perhaps in showing a lot of compassionate and self-sacrificing energy in matters with an intimate relationship or a sexual partner. It could be matters with shared resources, and also about giving perhaps moral, emotional, and even monetary support. At this time, you might be putting a lot of energy into empathizing with others in terms of that emotional support, being really empathetic in the process. Now, also, you might find yourself becoming somewhat angry or acrimonious over a duplicitous or deceptive, indolent, lethargic sexual partner, someone you're in a shared resources situation with. And you may find yourself fulfilling perhaps a sexual fantasy that might be a deep connection as well. And it could be somebody that might be in some 8th house field, such as somebody with the occult, astrology, supernatural, perhaps, or somebody that might be in some kind of investigation, something that is someone that might be in deep research. This might be really something that could be one way this could manifest. And also, too, you might feel like at this time, given this is Mars and you're talking about Pisces energy, it might feel more like putting energy into loafing and relaxing, as opposed to taking action in 8th house matters, such as if there's matters connected with taxes or insurance. Perhaps it could be something where you just might really feel more like almost fantasizing about doing something about it, rather than actually doing something in connection with it. So those are some things to look at as far as that goes. So anyway, next thing up, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, as I've stated in previous videos, Jupiter can be rather paradoxical. It could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in a lot of cases, this could expand and enlarge foolhardy, reckless, over optimistic, even tactless behavior by children, by romantic partners. It could be could even be maybe the way, it could be something in your expression toward these people as well, how you might act toward them as well. So just be careful at this time, Leo. Now also too, and it might even be matters connected with gambling and speculation, where there might be enlarged foolhardy and reckless behavior as far as that goes. But also on a positive note, this could be very fortuitous for perhaps a Sagittarius love romantic partner, and it could even be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Sagittarius characteristics. Hold on a moment, people. Anyway, next, also too, another way this could manifest, perhaps it could be very expanded and enlarged jocularity, joviality, and it could be very auspicious for as far as personal popularity goes, and also a lot of hope and optimism, perhaps in matters with religious matters with children and lovers at this time, and really really increasing maybe your enjoyment at this time, perhaps an expansion even in something in just religious activities might be something where it might cause, where it's something to be a little bit more something which might be tied into your enjoyment at this time. So anyway, next thing up, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest is about perhaps dealing perhaps with restrictions and limitations that are health related. Also, too, you might find yourself taking care of a debilitated or sickly aunt or uncle. It could be somebody that might be prominent in your daily routine, or a fellow employee you might be close with. It could be somebody that might be prominent in your health life, such as someone you might work out with, for example. And it could be over something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints. Also, this could also manifest in getting structure and discipline in your daily routine, and also it's about taking care of responsibilities, perhaps to your health life, to your work at this time, and also being and showing a lot of this consistent responsibility, really, and really being very and showing, I guess you could say, responsibility to service that may be rendered as well at this time. And also too, you might be going through some health restrictions and matters connect with your health at this time, especially if this is in conjunct the Ascendant. And at this time too, it could be through maybe working very laboriously, and this could be, you know, something where you could become run down because of this. So it's important not to just maybe not overdo it and take on too many responsibilities that might be work related or even in your daily routine at this time as well. So anyway, next thing up, well, Uranus will be in Aries, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this one way this could manifest perhaps is Aries friendships. They could be Aries sun, moon, or ascendant people, or ones that embody Aries-like characteristics. They may figure very prominently in terms of it could be your philosophical outlook, things of a religious nature, even maybe even traveling abroad, perhaps even matters with publishing. You might find yourself doing something Uranus-like. That could be something with higher education. It could be something with computers, electronics, aerospace, astronomy, something. It could be doing anything that could be Uranus related. Another way this could manifest perhaps is doing something that's Uranus-like, that's connected with publishing. It might be publishing something connected with the future. It could be something that's connected with computers, with electronics, something about aerospace, astrology even, anything that could be Uranus related. And also, too, you might find at this time that in-laws and grandchildren, they might be exhibiting some kind of very, maybe might be exhibiting maybe unpredictable, volatile behavior at this time as well, and just perhaps unusual behavior in general. And the connection with them might be a little bit more erratic and sporadic than usual. Anyway. Well, next thing up is Neptune will still be in Pisces, of course, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time for Leo, well, you might be more susceptible to credit card fraud at this time than usual, and also be wary in shared resources scenarios that there might be more deception and duplicity going on as far as that goes. And also, too, be exceptionally careful of drugs and alcohol at this time, Leo, and because this is the 8th house of death, in most cases it's not going to manifest this way. But I mean, if you're somebody that's a drinker and somebody that that's a consistent drinker or what have you, you need to be extra prudent and careful at this time, I would say, given that we're talking about Neptune and the 8th house. And anyway. Also, too, it could be like you might be doing something in some cases like a detox transformation at this time, and you might be dealing with more confounding and confusing issues connected with taxes, insurance at this time, more so than usual. And also, too, some other ways this may manifest as well is that people that you may be in, say, a shared resources situation with someone you're in an intimate or sexual relationship with at this time. This could be something where those people might be a little bit more nebulous and unclear than usual. There might be something with them that might be, these people might be more duplicitous and deceptive, more so than usual. In some cases, this could also be about the dissipation or dissolving of a sexual urge at this time and a sexual activity, especially if it's an older person. So anyway, and also, it might be the 8th house is about transformation, so this could also manifest if you're somebody, especially that's interested in something with the metaphysical, such as astrology. Maybe you feel like you can make a major change through this somehow by becoming more, for example, becoming more astrologically aware of your horoscope. So it could even be a spiritual transformation could take place at this time. So anyway. Last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Leo. Well, in some cases, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. Now, the first thing up, though, is that, of course, as I say this a lot, I don't want to say, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. In some cases, this could indicate an actual literal death of an aunt or an uncle. It could be someone prominent in your daily routine, someone you render service to, especially if this is like an elderly person that you're trying to help out. This could also be about could be about upheavals and power struggles in your work and employment life, and about maybe exhibiting power and control in your daily routine and having power over your health, but at the same time, given that Pluto is connected with obliteration and destruction, in some cases, you might feel like this is the destruction of your health at this time. And just remember that that Pluto, and also about the obliteration of maybe of your employment, but remember that Pluto is also about regeneration and rebirth. And when something may go away with Pluto, a lot of times it could be supplanted with something else. And also, given rebirth, it could be about revival and resurgence of health as well. If your health feels like it might be dissipating to some degree, it might be a point, there might come a time as well where you'll have a revival of it as well after being down for some time as far as health as far as your health may go. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Leo December 2018 horoscope forecast. And stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Virgo December 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.